Hi girls, today we're going to start writing a summary sheet for your exam. So a summary sheet is a piece of paper that you get to take into your exam, your quiz, which has information on it that will help you answer the questions. So it's really important that you write the correct information on your summary sheet. I'm going to help you today, but it's up to you to finish this off and write the information that's important to you. So you're going to start with an A4 piece of paper. Take one out of your maths book, or you might have another piece of paper in the classroom. And I want you to divide it up into 4 areas. One section's going to be called directed numbers. The other section's going to be called fractions. A smaller section's going to be called bed mass, so smaller section. And then another section over here will be called other things. So just things that you need to remember yourself. So other things. Okay, let's get started. So I'm going to do directed number first, and this is just the things that I think are important in directed numbers. You might have other ideas, and that's completely fine because it's your summary sheet. So the first thing is I'm going to draw a little directed number line. You will in the test get a big number line from 0 to 100 to negative 100. But I'm just drawing a little one to remind myself that negative numbers go to the left and that 0 is the middle of the number line. So there's my little number line. Okay, so what shall we do next? Let's look at the rules. So we're adding and subtracting. So if we've got 2 positive signs together, we cross them out and we write a positive. If we've got a positive and a negative sign together, we cross them out and we write a negative. If we've got 2 negatives, we cross it out and we write a positive. Now these rules are important because it's really confusing to have 2 pluses and minuses next to each other. So let's do an example. You might not have seen the brackets before, but the brackets are just there to protect the integer. Okay, so plus and minus gives us a minus, so it becomes 2 minus 3, and you can see I'm drawing it on the number line. 2 minus 3 equals negative 1. Now I've got, let's say, 4 minus negative 1. So just ignore the brackets, they don't matter. 4 minus negative 1. And the 2 negatives become a positive. So 4 plus 1 equals 5. And then there's the rules for multiplying and dividing. So a positive number times a positive number gives us a positive number, which is the maths we've been doing our whole lives. What about a positive times a negative? That gives us a negative number. And a negative times a negative gives us a positive. And there's a little saying that sometimes helps us, and that is that same signs equal a positive. So same signs give us a positive. Different signs give us a negative. Okay, so 5 times negative 3. The 5 and the 3 gives us 15. You'll get a times tables chart as well. And the negative and the positive gives us a negative sign. Negative 12 divided by 4 gives us 3, and a negative as well. And negative 16 divided by negative 16. Well, there's just one left over and they're both negatives, which makes it a positive. Okay, so I think I've got the main ideas down for directed number. Let's see, what else is there to do? Let's look at some square numbers. What does it mean if I say negative 2 squared? It means negative 2 times negative 2. Which is 2 times 2, 4, negative times negative, which is plus. What about if I made it slightly different and did this? Well, I'd have negative and then negative 2 times negative 2, and so I'd end up with negative 4. Okay, one last question over here. I've got negative 2 plus or minus negative 2 plus or minus 3 equals. Okay, so let's just have a look at this question here first. Oops. This question here first of all. A lot of people get confused that this negative here is part of this, but it's not. This just sits there by itself. So the plus and the minus we deal with, that becomes a minus. And then negative 2 minus 3 equals, we go up to our number line and we do some jumps on our number line and get our answer of negative 5. So the only rules here, the rules only apply when the signs are stuck next to each other, not when there's a number between them. Okay, and the last thing I wanted to say is this line, I'm sure you're all seeing the fraction line, is the same as divide. So negative 10 fraction line 5 is the same as negative 10 divided by 5. So it's the same as writing it this way, and the rules still apply. Okay, let's keep going. Okay, so I'm going to go through just the fractions that you need to know, the main fractions for the test, which is adding, subtracting, multiplying, dividing. Okay, so let's do adding first. And my example is going to be 2/3 plus 4/5. So I need to have a common number on the bottom. Easiest way to do it is 3 times 5, which gives me 15. So 15 goes on the bottom. Now I need to cross multiply to get my numerator. So 2 times 5 is 10, plus 4 times 3 is 12. And now I just need to work that out. So 2 times 5 is 10, plus 12 over 15. So 22 over 15. Now if I wanted to write that as an improper fraction, I would say, how many times does 15 go into 22? And the answer would be 1. And I'd say, what's left over? The answer would be 7 over 15. But 22 over 15 is okay. All right, so let's do multiplying. Okay, so 4 over 5 times 1 over 3. Multiplying is the easiest one. We go straight across the top, straight across the bottom. So 4 over 15. And we can't simplify that because there's no common factors. Let's do some dividing. Now dividing, we change the middle sign and we flip the second fraction. So 6 over 7 becomes a times, and that becomes 3 over 1. And then we just multiply across. 6 times 3 equals 18. 7 times 1 is 7. Now let's practice. 7 into 18, how many times? Well, 2 sevens are 14, so that's 2. What's left over? 4 out of 7. Well done. Okay, now one other type of question that has come up a little bit is where there's been 3 fractions. So these are actually quite easy to do, and we've done a few. Let's do another one. We just do them 2 at a time. So let's do the first 2, a half plus a third. So we need 6, 2 times 3 is 6. We need a 3 and a 2 on the top. And don't forget the quarter, because that's still part of the working out. So that's 5 out of 6 minus a quarter. Now we need another common denominator. 4 times 6 is 24. Okay, so 5 times 4 is 20. 6 times 1 is 6. Gives us 14 out of 24, because it was a minus, was a subtraction. Okay, let's practice simplifying. We need to divide the top and bottom by the same number, and 2 is usually a good option. So 2, 7, 12. And one last thing that I don't think you'll need this for the test, but we've done a bit of it, so let's pop it on our sheet anyway, just in case. Changing improper fractions. So we've got 1 4/9. we do 1 times 9 plus 4, and we get 13 over 9. Okay, now the last big heading that I've got is bed mass. So let's write down what it is. So we've got brackets, we've got exponents or indices, you might know them better as, like squares, cubes. We've got division and multiplication in the order left to right. So division doesn't necessarily come before multiplication. We just do them left to right. And then addition and again addition goes left to right. So by left to right, I mean left of the sum to the right hand side of the sum. Okay, so let's do an example. Here's an example. I've got 3 plus 4 times 1 divided by 2 minus 6 squared. So what am I going to do first? Yep, the exponent. Do 6 squared first. Then I'm going to do the multiplication first. Then I'm going to do the division first. So it doesn't matter that the division is after the multiplication, because we do division and multiplication in the left to right order. So they're like kind of a little package there. And once we've done that, then we do the addition at the front and the subtraction of the negative 36. Okay, so that's everything that I've got to put on my study sheet. You might have more things, and I suggest that you put questions that you have difficulty with, hints that you want to remember, anything that you've done in the booklet that you're not sure about, revision questions that you've got wrong. You've got the whole page to fill up, so make use of that. You don't want to get something wrong on the test that you could have put on your summary sheet. If you want to, take a photo, send it to me, and I'll check it over for you. Okay, well done, Year 8.